I am Gladys Steger. The title of my presentation is Design and Validation of the Scale of Spiritual Parenting Practices. Society recognizes the importance of the home environment in the development of children, but few understand the impact that habits related for spiritual practices in the home have on children. But what are spiritual parenting practices? What instruments are they measured with? How involved are parents in applying spiritual practices at home? This study presents the design and validation of scale to measure spiritual parental practices perceived by children. The participating population consisted for children from 4th to 6th grades from Adventist schools of the Interoceanic Mexican Union. First, we will define what spiritual parenting practices are. Parental practices are understood as those specific behaviors of parents through which they influence their children. In the case of spiritual parental practices, they are behaviors that reflect religion in action, being how parents share their own spiritual experiences with their children. Through them, parents teach by example and contributed to the formation of the family spiritual atmosphere that influence all family members, bringing them closer to God or further away from Him. The Holy Scriptures present samples of spiritual parenting practices that impacted not only family life, but also those in their immediate environment. Such is the case of Abraham, of whom God affirmed, "Because I know that he will command his children and his house after him to keep the way of the Lord." This is how Abraham would not only fear the Lord, but also cultivate religion in his home. Other examples are Jochebed, the mother of Moses, and Eunice, the mother of Timothy. As Havenig states, parents create a spiritual environment at home through their religiosity and the way they share it with their children. According to Hong, when parents plan and engage their children in spiritual activities, they become role models for them, causing a lasting influence on their lives. Methodology. A population sample was obtained for convenience, made up of 378 children from 4th to 6th grades enrolled in Adventist school of the Interoceanic Mexican Union. The average age was 10.18 years. 189 were male, 184 were female, and 5 children did not report gender. The process to design and validate the scale of spiritual parenting practices. A search and reading of literature about spiritual and family spiritual habits were carried out. Based on this, a list of concepts that reflect spiritual practices in the home was prepared, from which the items were written. Each item was supported by a quote that supported the concept. From this work, 12 items emerged, assessed with a Likert type scale of 5 options. 1 equal never, 2 equal almost never, 3 equal sometimes, 4 equal many times, and 5 equal always. A higher value indicates a greater presence of perceived spiritual parental practices. The items are the following. 1. In my house, we meet for family worship. 2. As a family, we studied the Sabbath school lesson. 3. At home, we talk about topics related to the Bible. 4. In the morning, my family prays for God's protection before leaving home. 5. With my family, we read the Bible together. 6. With my family, we attend church service every week. 7. When we gather at the table to eat, we pray for a blessing on the food. 8. My parents talk to me about God. 9. I think my parents pray for me. 10. My dad is an example of Christian life for me. 11. My mom is an example of Christian life for me. 12. My parents make Saturday a special day. The items were submitted to the judgment of 7 experts. 3 doctors in theology, 3 doctors in education, and 1 doctor in psychology to verify the validity of the content. Then a pilot test was carried out with a sample of 52 children from 4th to 6th grades from an Adventist school in the North Mexican Union. The data obtained were analyzed to verify the scale's behavior and its reliability. The analysis carried out showed that the scale retained the 12 items, obtaining a Cronbach's alpha of 0.847. In the next step, data collection, 378 children was carried out. The exploratory factorial analysis and the construct validity were verified with the database obtained. As can be seen on the slide, Cronbach's alpha was 0.901. The items were grouped into a single factor, with factor loadings between 0.801 and 0.477, and the total variance of 44.1. The KMO index was 0.924. In this way, it is concluded that the scale of spiritual parental practices is an adequate instrument since it presents adequate validity and reliability values. Thank you for your attention.